So we knew coming into this game, how good Kansas was, how well coached they are, great players and the great program they have, and how well they've been playing. And we knew we were going to have to be at our absolute best, and our guys really, their preparation coming into this was at a high level, and that showed up for us. So there's not a program or coach I have more respect for and the success they've had over time, and we know how intentional we have to be with our preparation. So I thought our guys' focus that way was really good, and our fans deserve an assist. Especially early in the game, we didn't score it great, and our fan base really shows up for us. There's no better home court than Hilton Coliseum, and I would like to thank personally all of our fans for their energy and what they did today, because that was Hilton Magic, and they should feel great about what they did as a fan base.
TJ, how would you rate your defensive ball pressure, and how important was it to get Kansas kind of playing backwards with what you guys were able to do?
Yeah, our guys were really locked in. I thought it was at a very high level in terms of how we pressured the ball, how physical we were, how we were ahead of plays in the first half to turn them over 10 times with quite a few deflections, and then limited only to one offensive rebound. I think speaks to just us being in front of plays, us being aggressive, proactive, and in front of plays. So I thought our defensive intensity was at a very high level.
It seemed like all 8 guys who played had significant moments or production. How important, when you guys are at your best, is that a common denominator that all 8 guys are able to contribute in whatever way?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, Blake Buchanan, what he did in that first half and how he established himself was terrific. I mean, he controlled the paint, he was active defensively, he finished plays. And then we go to the bench, and Dom Plata comes in, and he's right on the offensive glass with tremendous physicality. And so, to your point, felt like everybody that came in had significant contributions, felt like everybody in the starting lineup did a great job. Jamarian Bateman certainly opened up the game at a time where we weren't scoring it particularly well. He's a tireless worker and has an unbelievable spirit, so it's not a surprise. And then Nate Heisey comes in off the bench, and just so many toughness plays, a big three, a ton of big rebounds, and just, so many winning things. So, I know a lot of times the narrative is about how elite Joshua is, which he certainly is, and how Milan continues to score the ball at such a consistent rate, and Taman, the elite player he is. But I thought across, all 8 guys, everybody had significant contributions to the team winning.
You guys outscored KU 23-4 in the first half on second chance points off turnovers. How much do you think that contributed to the 10-point lead at halftime? Yeah,
I think that was the reason we had the 10-point lead at halftime. I mean, we really worked to win in the margins and win the possession game to make sure that, we get more possessions based on turnovers, and then as well on the offensive glass when we're not fortunate enough to convert. And that is a winning formula for us. When we've been able to do that, we've had tremendous success. So we've got to continue to keep our focus on that and again, bring the same energy and intent every night, that we have opportunity to play.
And your first 6 shots, I think, of the second half were all made 3-pointers. When you are observing that from the sideline, I guess just what kind of emotions does that bring you to see that many shots fall in the building react the way it did?
Well, I mean, our guys put the work in, right? I mean, they have tremendous confidence because they earn the right based on the work that they put in. And so to me, the first half was more of the outlier in terms of getting our confidence going and getting, getting the shots to fall. And the second half was more of the rhythm, of the game for us. And so Taman, we've got a ton of confidence in his ability to shoot the basketball, and I loved how he came out in the second half and was aggressive. Certainly Milan's been terrific that way all year, and just proud of our guys because I think, having the confidence in one another, having the belief in one another, sharing the basketball with one another is what leads to that type of output, and our guys are really focused in those areas.
DJ, Coach Self referenced that, I'll call it difficult fadeaway 3 that Milan hit at the end of the shot clock. It's kind of a play that sticks out to him, but where does Dom Plata's first offensive rebound rate in plays of the game for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's at the top because when you come in right away and bring that physicality, that's something he can really do for us. And he's continuing to play better. I mean, tonight, obviously, Blake kind of had the fouls, and Dom played some longer stretches. He was gassed there for a bit, but he brings a lot of physicality. He can seal in there. He can score the ball around the rim, but his activity level, I think, both of our bigs today, I thought Blake and Plata, they were warriors, and they controlled the paint and did such a great job. But, Plata's offensive rebound, to me, like, again, I'm never going to get bored seeing Milan hit those shots because he works for it, he earns it, and I loved watching him when he was in high school and on the travel circuit doing it. I love watching him do a lot more in a Cyclone uniform. But some of those extra effort energy plays that our bigs made, and the one you're talking about with Plata, those really stand out for me.
And then the second half doesn't start probably the way you want. Turnover, you get the foul trouble immediately, but then the shot making coincides with the live ball. I think one was dead ball, but forcing turnovers. Just how big was that stretch? The back-to-back threes by Milan and Taman coinciding with the great pressure.
Yeah, it didn't start the way we wanted, and then all of a sudden, I think it was at least a 9-0 run because I know there was a timeout called there, so that, we hit 3 of them, and we had great rhythm going. And, we talked to our guys at halftime about being confident. We've done the work. We've put the time in, trust the work. I think it's important that they know their coach believes in them and wants them taking those shots, hunting them, and knocking them down. And, we believe in guys that put the time in, and our guys certainly do that.
Down the stretch, how do you think your team performed in the closing moments of the contest against Kansas?
Yeah, I think they had great resiliency to how we finished the game. I mean, that game, they were starting to narrow the margin and, cut it to whatever it was, 12 or, close, it got close there. And I think for us to be able to get the stops and finish the plays on the glass and then control the basketball was important. So I think our guys, finished plays with defensive stops, and that was extremely important to finish it the right way.
You have Houston coming in on Monday. What does the next few days look like for you and your players in preparation for a top 5 team?
Yeah, I mean, we have tremendous respect for their program. We know, how good they are, and the things that they can, problems they can pose. So, again, it's always balancing that necessary amount of get rest and get your body to bounce back. Come to practice with great mental focus and intent, and get prepared to play a really good team on Monday night. But we got a lot of confidence in our group. We have a lot of confidence in our fan base, the way they show up for us and the way we know they're going to show up on Monday. So let's run it back with some Hilton magic.
TJ, how much do you man defensively and on the glass from your big men? It seemed like Dom and Blake really covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, those guys were phenomenal. Like I said, I mean, they both had 2 fouls in the first half, and we trusted both of them for felt like the last 8-9 minutes, whatever it was of the half, when we had fouls, and they continued to play with great effort. And we told them, continue to be aggressive, and then you won't foul. Don't think about the fouls, just be the aggressor. But I do think, from my vantage point, Buchanan and Plata as a combination was as impressive as anything we did tonight. Their effort, their extra effort, their multiple efforts, their energy, their rebounding, their the physical imposition at the rim defensively. Man, those guys were phenomenal, and they were all over the place. And I think the plays on the offensive glass in the first half really kept us going when we were having a tough time, and then multiple efforts defensively really set the tone for our team.
And with Jamarion, was there a conversation recently, or it just seemed like today there was an added fearlessness and just kind of an aggression in terms of taking shots or just being unafraid to pull up from deep today?
Yeah, I mean, look, Jamarion, we've talked about this. In terms of habits and coming in, he's been the best we've had in terms of mental focus, preparation, work ethic, maturity. And so we've got tremendous confidence in him, and we're going to continue to put him in those spots, and we know that he'll continue to step up. So to me, he's had so many big games for us. He's played great at Hilton for sure, and we know that he'll continue to do that because he earns it through how he works each day.
TJ, what makes your guys capable of thriving in being competitive in a rock fight for the first 7 minutes like today, and then going on an offensive heater like you did after the half?
Yeah, I would say, again, starting the game, we wish we were more effective offensively. I think that, we're a little bit tentative for whatever reason on that side. And then as we stayed the course defensively, we opened the game up. We were able to get transition. We were able to turn them over and score off turnovers. We were able to get on the offensive glass. All those things are important. I think when you look at really good offensive teams, it's not just the shot making, it's all the other margins that you need to be good. So, I think for our team to thrive in a rock fight, is that what you call them? I just think our guys, they have a very blue-collar mentality. Like, we need to continue to really fight and work for being a team that even if the ball isn't going through, that we continue to guard, we continue to be intentional, we're tough on the glass. Obviously, our guys showed a tremendous amount of resiliency in doing that today.
How much